Section 3.2 is solving equations using addition and subtraction. And this is pretty much a review section for you. So let's take a look. The addition property of equality says, if an equation is true and the same number is added to each side, then the resulting equation is true. Pretty much common sense. So in other words, if A equals B and I add C to both sides, then A plus C will still equal B plus C. Algebraically, if I have this kind of an equation, I can add the same value to both sides without changing the equality, and then I can solve by combining like terms. So you've done this for several years, and it shouldn't be any surprise to you. Okay? We talk about equivalent equations. An equivalent equation is any set of equations that have the same solution. So to solve an equation means to find all values of the variable that make the equation a true statement. What I just did a minute ago when I took x minus 8 equals 10. We solved this equation to get x equals 18. And that's all the values of the variable that will make this a true statement. So here's another example. If I add a negative 21 to both sides, I will get x equals negative 13. So we say that this equation, the one we started with, and this equation are equivalent equations. Any two equations that have the same variable answer, x equals negative 13 in the first equation, and x equals negative 13 in the second equation. So they are equivalent. Okay, the subtraction property, same as addition, except it says that if an equation is true and the same number is subtracted from each side, then the resulting equation is true. In notation, if A equals B and I subtract the same thing from both sides, they are still equivalent. And an example, so I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides, and I'm going to get an equivalent example. This should not be any surprise to you, so let's do a real quick one. Write an equation and solve. So I want to write an equation for this. A number increased by 5 is equal to 42. So a number increased, that's a plus sign. For the number, I'm going to choose P. Increased by 5 is equal to 42. How do I solve it? I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides to keep equivalent equations. And we're going to get P equals 37. Okay? That's all you have to do. Now I know that the notation here, what we're used to doing, and it's fine with me, I'm just showing it this way so that we can see two equivalent sides, is that we subtract 5 from both sides this way, and that's fine. Also, we know that we can do this with mental math. What I'd like you to do right now is to show at least one of these steps, either this step or this step, so that everybody knows what's going on, so I can see your work. And then we'll get to the point where we'll just drop that line and go straight through mental math. All right, that's it for the entire video.